So today's agenda, okay, so there are 4 points today. First point is product review, which we called as a product demo. Second point is product owner acceptance. Okay, so here are some criterias which I'll discuss with you guys. Third point is retrospective meetings, how to conduct the retrospective meetings, and what team is feeling when you are conducting retrospective meetings. And the last point for today's session is how to get the most out of the retrospectives. So what is the output from retrospective and how will you get it? Because you guys may face some issues while running retrospectives, and believe me guys, these are very common issues, not only related to retrospective but related to each and every ceremonies. So let's start with our first point. So product review demo. So guys, I'm talking about the product review or product demo, and when we have to do it, why we have to do it, and who will provide this demo. These many questions may be in your mind. So as per the agile guidelines, guys, we have to provide the demo for those requirements which are completed, matches their acceptance criteria, tested all, and ready to go on production. So we have to perform demo for those requirements in every after a sprint. So once your sprint is done, after that you have to provide the demo. Now who will provide the demo? So agile always says that it's very easy if the demo will be provided by team members. Say for example, in my team, there are 9 people are working as per the agile guidelines, and 4 people have done their job in entire sprint. So those 4 team member will provide the demo in a review session, line by line. They have to make a order in which order they will go for demo, and how first person's requirement will connect with second person. So they have to make a strategy for this before demo. Maybe they can conduct internal demo also for product owner, and consider product owner as a stakeholder or as a client person, and provide the demo to product owner so that product owner can find out if there are any flaws or anything missing. And while they are doing a final demo in front of client or in front of higher management, at that time they have to make sure that the demo will go flawless. Now agile also says that if product owner is really energetic, then product owner can take a charge of keyboard uh, in the demo, and once first team member completed his demo on his requirement, then product owner can immediately make changes or announce that second requirement will be so and so, and we are giving the demo on this. So how product owner will start? Maybe product owner say like this: on the screen you will see what I thought would be our next 10 things to work on, but I want to insert XYZ and ABC that come up today. Here XYZ and ABC are requirements, and I'll add that probably as a item 3. So you can provide some sort of number if there is any number available, or you can say that I'll add that probably as a demo item. So likewise you can do it. Now if you see on my screen guys, these team members are try to fit the final product or the final requirement in production environment. So they are trying to fit it in a priority, or maybe in an indexing value. Say for example, which things go first, which things go next, which things go after that. So likewise, and once it fitted in their strategies, once it fitted in their presentation which they provided before starting the demo, then they maybe start their demo and they provided what exactly we done, what is our first targeted item, what is our second targeted item, what is our third targeted item, and so on. So by this way guys, you can perform the demo. Demo is a very easy task. You only speak about whatever the things done. Now if you want to make your demo more smarter and more capable, and if you want to know what exactly client feel after watching this demo, then specifically after each and every requirements demo or after each and every requirements performance, ask client, do you have any questions, any queries? Do you like this functionality or presentation which we provided you? After that, maybe client says yes, we like it. So ask client, do you want our upcoming all functionalities in same manner? Maybe look and feel, colors or fonts in terms of that. If client says no, there are some mistakes or there are few things which are still remain, which we can't see in this demo, and if team doesn't work on those areas previously, then just gather those requirement in same demo and immediate in your next sprint act on that particular all requirements or whatever client says, and push your next sprints all requirements after that. Because when you are fulfilling client's requirement, at that time client will provide you the happiness. Now ask client, out of 10, if I want you to rate our demo, or if I want to ask you to rate our work, so how much point or how much ratings will you provide? Get this rating in same demo meetings guys, so that you also know why client is giving you that particular rating. Say for example, out of 10, if I want to fix this point in my demo, then maybe I'll consider that below 4 means it's a very poor demo. We need to do a complete rework in our existing production, in our existing shippable areas. If it is below 7, then maybe I'll think that yeah, client is happy with this demo, but there are few things which we have to take in consideration while we are doing our next demo. If client is giving you between 8 to 10, then maybe you done a very good job, but still something is there because of what client is not giving you 10 out of 10. So ask client immediately, why client is not giving you 10 out of 10? What exactly we are missing, and where exactly we provided a loophole or something which are not which might be stole our points. So client will provide you that information also. Keep it in your mind, keep it as an action item, and in next sprint you have to follow that particular things. So by this way guys, when you are starting your demo, maybe first few demos you will not get 10 out of 10, but after that constantly client will use you 10 out of 10, because you know what exactly client required in demo, in which fashion, in which manner, uh, in presentation, how client likes that particular presentation while you are giving a demo. So you know all these things, and because of this, when client is giving you 10 out of 10, at that time indirectly client gives you their entire faith and entire happiness. So by this way guys, you can conduct your product review or functionality or demo meeting. Now what is product owner's acceptance criteria? So guys, this is very simple. When product owner provided any sort of requirement which comes from client, if I am a client and if I am communicating with my product owner, and if I am giving some sort of requirement to my client, directly or indirectly, I am providing or I am setting some sort of expectations, guys. And if I'm openly communicating my expectation with my product owner is really good, because it's easy for my product owner to understand. If product owner have any sort of queries, questions, confusions, he or she can ask me immediately and I can resolve it. If indirectly I am setting up the expectation, and if my product owner is smart enough to catch those things, then maybe product owner will openly ask me what exactly I am expecting behind this requirement, where exactly this requirement will fit it, what is the input for this requirement, what will be the output for this requirement. Maybe these are the criteria for your acceptance. And once client provided you this entire information, then based on this information, when product owner write down the requirement in product backlog, at that time product owner will provide the points also, bullet points, where product owner provide these acceptance criteria also. Now, uh, guys, when product owner is writing acceptance criteria, maybe product owner sometime doesn't write the acceptance criteria for each and every story, each and every task, but this is really mandatory, guys. If you have a acceptance criteria, means you have a key which opens the lock and which tells you from where you have to start, from where you have to stop. Is this requirement testable or non-testable? Is it functional or non-functional? How I have to provide the output of this requirement once I done it in the demo session. So these all many things are available in that particular acceptance criteria. Pass fail criteria is also available in acceptance criteria, and this is the reason we need acceptance criteria for each and every story. Now, if I'm going back in my previous session, guys, maybe you remember that I had provided in one of my session the information that in acceptance criteria, uh, what exactly product owner will provide. Now here, if I'm saying that I want to do a health check of product backlog, so Scrum Master is doing for first product health check is done by Scrum Master after getting the product backlog requirement or the set of product backlog from product owner. So Scrum Master visited each and every requirement, read each and every requirement line by line. This is the job of Scrum Master, and find out is there a acceptance criteria or maybe definition of done and definition of ready. Both the things are available. Guys, definition of done, definition of ready, and acceptance criteria all are same. If you have definition of done and definition of ready, then we called it as a acceptance criteria. If product owner provided all the things under acceptance criteria, then you have to find out what is definition of done and definition of ready in that area. So Scrum Master first verifies these things and find out that all the things are available in each and every story, task, epic, subtask, and sub-subtask. And this is readable, understandable, and very easy to understand. Now, after verifying these things, once the product backlog is passed through this test, then Scrum Master provided that entire product backlog list to team members and asked them to go through those requirements which are on higher priority or urgent priority. And later on, if we had a time, then we will go with other priority, other requirements also. So now this is a second test where team members go through each and every requirements which are on higher priority or urgent priority, read all the descriptions and acceptance criteria. If they thought that in acceptance criteria there should be a modification, or in description few things are missing, because these are technical guys, so these guys can catch it very immediately. So if these guys feel these things, these guys can directly communicate with product owner by looping Scrum Master in their communication, that so and so product backlog area or so and so requirement, we found these things are missing which should be there. While we are working with that particular requirement, we need these 1 2 3 points, and these points are missing. Now if these points are really related to that particular requirement, product owner will update it. if these points are not related to that particular requirement, product owner will provide the answer in communication. Maybe it's a written communication, maybe it's a meeting communication, and product owner will provide why those things are not added. So it should be a justifiable answer. So by this way, guys, product owner will provide the acceptance criteria for each and every request. Next is retrospective meetings. Ah, this is my favorite picture, guys. How many of you feel like this when you go for any meeting or for any ceremonies? I'm sure very few are maybe feeling like this. Like this small kid is feeling right now very happy, and because she is very happy because something has happened for us. So, guys, when we are conducting long meetings, say for example product backlog meeting, or product grooming meeting, or sprint planning meeting, or retrospective meeting, I bet you within your team there are few team members who are physically present there but mindly absent in your meeting. These guys are there, these guys are just sitting like alone, and these guys never speak a single word. If you ask something to these guys, maybe in their expressions they provide you yes or no feeling, or maybe you can find the faces like this. I seen such faces in most of my meetings, maybe more than 95% of my meetings. If I am conducting a very boring meeting, now how boring, or what is boring in those meetings? So giving you a very simple example, uh, one person who arrange a meeting in a town hall meeting, and come up with their few pages where he or she has written something, read those pages in front of the mob, say thank you because you guys are listening me very carefully, and leave the stage. In this case, guys, hardly 10 to 15 members are listening that particular person, and that is also because these guys are sitting in a front row. Rest of the team members might be whispering with each other, might be playing some sort of games on their mobile, might be chit chatting on mobile through social media apps like WhatsApp or Facebook or something like that, or might be thinking something else. They are physically present there, but they are not mindly present there. They are mindly wandering here and there, and they are thinking something different. And once all the people started clapping, at that time they just participate in that, that yeah, this person goes finally, and now we will see our next person. So this is the reason, guys, you can see such kind of faces. Now how to make your meetings more interesting? So there are way, guys. If you are conducting some sort of such boring meetings, like somebody is coming there as a host, speak a long time in a team with team members, and very few team members are responding to that particular person, and rest of the team members are showing that they are listening but they are not doing it really. So consider this is a very boring meeting, and you have to make change in this fashion. So how will you make change? So there are some sort of tricks, guys, which I'll tell you today. So start your meeting, ask everybody to join your meeting, and focus on those team members who are shy, or who are never speak a single word in your meeting. Start communicating with those people when you are just beginning the meeting. Ask them some sort of general questions like what's going on in their life, how is today's day, do you feel it's something like sunny or cloudy or rainy, so what's going on in team, are you feeling happy, in on which area right now you are working, so what kind of work is that? Maybe you know what kind of work is that, but still take an interest and ask that person, or maybe announce first, like who has done a good job. This is also priority, or this may be also maybe I'm saying a role or responsibility of Scrum Master and product owner, that between two meetings find out who has done a good job in terms of technology, good job in terms of help to each other or within a team frame, good job in terms of maybe done the work before time. You have to announce this when you starting your meeting, that so and so person has done a very good job. Just ask that person to stand in a meeting room and ask the rest of the team members to give him a big flaws, so that that person will happy next time. Maybe it's not important for that person, but that person will listen you very carefully, guys. And rest of the persons are also started taking interest in their job, in their work, and they also want that sometime their name will also appear in any sort of meeting where product owner and scrum master says, yeah, this person has done a very good job, this person has done this job very wisely and very properly. Likewise, so likewise guys, you can start your work. Now second thing, when you are starting your product grooming meeting or your sprint planning meeting or uh, your review or retrospective meeting, at that time these meetings are basically conducted for your team members, and if team members are not participating it enthusiastically, then maybe there is no meaning to conduct such kind of meetings. If you just send a mail to these guys, that is also fine, but Agile says no, you have to motivate your team members so that they can start speaking in such kind of ceremonies, they can put their ideas in such kind of ceremonies. Maybe you can took a general issue or maybe a general problem. It may not be a political or it may not be related to management, but any general issue or any general problem, you can put it in the beginning of your meeting and ask your team members what opinion they have. See, for example, today I am started moving from my home, and suddenly I found there is a traffic jam on so and so road, which is my daily road, and I don't know how to reach the office. So, do you guys have any suggestion, any specific road by which I can reach the office? This time, guys, everybody will participate. Maybe the person who doesn't know the road, that person will also participate, started listening and thinking, if such kind of issues appear in my life, then what should I do? So by this way, guys, you can motivate team members to speak up in the meetings, and slowly you can move to the agenda of meeting. Slowly you can start your meeting and randomly throw the question to those guys who are shy or who never speak a single word. Randomly just ask them, saying, I'm giving again one of an example, that my team is working on banking area, banking sector, specifically on cards like credit card or debit cards, where when the client is swiping the card, at that time the transaction will complete based on the pin or the OTP which client provided while swiping the card, particular debit card or credit card. Now if I'm throwing the question randomly to such kind of peoples who are very shy, like see guys, client wants some sort of changes in this particular requirement, so what kind of changes we can do? Can we do it like this, that client will not swipe the card but still the payment go through the card, maybe using Wi-Fi, or maybe just show the card to that particular machine and it connected with the card and debited the amount from particular client and credited the amount to the merchant after 3 days. So 3 day is a grace period time, whether client is saying this transaction is done in my presence or this transaction is not done in my presence. So this is the reason for 3 days we are keeping this money in cloud. So is there any idea do you have? Now everybody started thinking, so what should we do and how we can utilize this idea, and everybody started putting their ideas in front of you. Now just find out whichever idea is near where client has provided the acceptance criteria, and then provide the detail about this idea which client has provided you with acceptance criteria, and again just announce in that particular meeting that this person is thinking very wisely and very close to our requirement. So by this way guys, we are encouraging. There are lot many other tricks and tips also guys, but if I'm telling you all these things, maybe time will not permit me. Moving to next, how to get the most yeah. 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 Mhm. Yeah, exactly. And I'm mostly started my meetings with this sentence that guys, if you are trying to sleep in my meeting, just forget it because I never give you a chance to sleep. So either continuously speak up with you, or either I'll ask you some sort of random question. By this way, everybody is always alert, because, and I'm not just saying, I'm doing these things, and by this way everybody is always in a alert situation that what Gajanan will ask me in the entire meeting. Maybe I'm asking, hey man, where I'm just before 5 minutes. So if that person is absent in the mind, maybe that person just look at me, and then I'll again refresh that last 5 minutes session for that particular person. Maybe sometime this is very embarrassing for that particular person, and rest of the team, it's a revision for rest of the team members. Next time when I'm conducting meeting, either those people sit in the meeting with entire alert, or maybe those people tells me that there is some work, and because of that they are not able to participate, and by this way I can catch them that they are really not interested in a boring meeting. And mostly I am also doing this in my practical experience, that I am changing the agenda every time. Maybe the meeting name is same, but I am changing the agenda of meeting. Sometime I am playing some sort of games in the meeting. Sometime I am asking questions to my team members, and based on their answers I am getting the output of the that particular meeting, or maybe I'm meeting the agenda of that particular meeting. So by this way I am always doing R&D with my meetings, and team members like these things. And this is the reason, maybe if I miss any meeting, or if I miss to send any invite, team members remind me, hey boss, you just missed the meeting invite, please send us, we want to join it. So this is really good idea, Uwe. Thank you so much. And guys, you can also apply this, at least try once in your meeting. You will get the benefits, guys. Now, how to get the most output from retrospective? So guys, there are a lot many ways available. Retrospective meetings means team have to provide you what they feel in the entire sprint. This is basically the motive of retrospective. So after entire sprint, what exactly team feel? They feel pressurized, they feel happy, they feel alone, they feel scary, they feel funny in an entire sprint. So what exactly they feel? So each and every persons have different mindset, different opinion, and we just want to know that. In same time, we this is a opportunity, guys. This is an opportunity for not only scrum master and product owner, but also for agile coach, that if team feels scary, team feels unhappiness, team feel pressurized situation, then start to find out those action item why team feels that, because agile says this specific methodology or this specific technology is for to make your life more and more easy day by day, make you clean and calm in your work so that you can work very well and you can enjoy your work. But if due to some reason if my team is not able to achieve these things, then this is an opportunity for me. This is not something that I am failing as a scrum master, or I am failing as a product owner, or I am failing as an agile coach. No guys, don't think from this perspective. This is a negative thinking. Just think from this perspective that I got an opportunity. Now I can make an improvement plan for my next sprint, and I'm collecting the action items. Now collect the action items and also distribute those action items with particular names. Say for example, few action items goes on supporting team members, few action item goes on technical architect, maybe on product owner, maybe scrum master, maybe agile coach. Just write down their name and ask them in next sprint we will try to avoid these cases, we will try to avoid these situations. By this way only we can make our sprint, or we can make our entire agile process refinement after each and every sprint guys. But when this will happen, when each and every team member speak in retrospective meeting with their thoughts, with their thinking, provide their feelings, their emotions. And this is really not happen on initial level, as Uwe says, and even this is my experience also, that first few retrospective meetings, very few peoples are communicated. They talk about the idea, they talk about their feelings, emotions and everything. Maybe they have some sort of previous experience, that's why they told, or maybe they never learn the shyness, or they never know the fear, that's why. And rest of the team members just obey their languages, or just obey their thinking. They never provided their own thinking. So this is the reason, randomly throw the question to those guys who are sitting ideal in your meetings and ask them that in our today's meeting we will make this person as a host, and this person will speak about what this person done in last sprint, and does this person feel happy. If that particular person say yes, immediately challenge that person's answer. Why you feel happy, what is happy in last sprint, so what do you feel happy. Then maybe that person provide you 1 or 2 points, then ask that person why only 1 or 2 points. Then what is the points, or what exactly the area where you doesn't feel unhappy, or where you doesn't feel happy. So that person will start speaking. Here is the opportunity guys, that you can grab those points as an action item, and you can make these guys motivation, or you can give these guys motivation to speak up in this particular meeting. And at the end of meeting, just say a big thanks to those guys who speak first time in your meeting, as today we achieve a target by this line guys. Maybe this is a sample line I am giving you. Today we achieve a target to get the feelings from that person who is really shy in our team. Now that person may gives a smile and saying that I am not shy, but I speak very less. Then ask that person, apart from meeting it's fine, but in meeting we need your opinions every time. So we will expect it going forward. In every meeting you will provide your opinion guys. When you start such kind of boosting injections to your team members, I bet you guys after 2 3 meetings everybody will start speaking. And it's a time where you have to track it, which person says what, and what exactly the point these persons provided you, and you have to write down those points. So by this way guys you can motivate them. If team feels boring, again in same fashion, then you may play some sort of game. Just call the team members in a meeting room and ask them, today we will not conduct any retrospective, guys, it's a boring thing. So today we will do enjoyment for 45 minutes or 60 minutes, and I have something for you. This is something surprising. First, make all the arrangement for your game, then discuss that particular game with your team members. Tell them that we are playing a game today. Discuss that particular game with entire team, provide the props, start the game. At end of the game, ask the team member what exactly they learn from that particular game. Guys, uh, everyone have a kids, and I know most of the parents telling stories to their kids in the night before sleeping, and tell them what exactly they learn from that particular story. Same thing we have to apply in our meetings, in our retrospective meeting, maybe sprint planning, maybe product backlog refinement, or product backlog grooming meeting, and ask them what they learn, what they achieve from this particular game. Now, what the feelings or what the answers they gives you, that may be the points which you want from your retrospective or from your that particular meeting. That particular all the points matches your agenda, guys. These are the ways where you can boost your team members. You can not only make them happy, but every time you are giving some surprise to them, and these guys love to work with you. Slowly these guys will open up their minds with you, and even if there is no meeting, still these guys can communicate with you regarding their issues, their impediments, maybe some sort of things which they have to provide you that information in early manner. Such kind of information they can started provide you in a early phases. Even shy people can start talking in team, in meetings. So these are the few things, guys, which you have to apply. These are tips and tricks which you can apply in your each and every ceremony. Agile never provided any guidelines for these tips and tracks, but yeah, Agile always says if you have any funny idea in your mind which will get you to achieve the motive of your particular meetings or the agenda of your particular meetings, just apply it. But when you are applying it, just make sure that you are following all the 12 principles which are in agile. So guys, we are not breaking any principle while we are playing a games in our meetings or while we are boosting our team members, because that's our first agenda, that's our first principle, that make our team members open always, so that they can come up with their ideas. Even in your any meeting, maybe any person can provide you any sort of idea, just appreciate it. Even in retrospective, just appreciate those person who has provided some sort of good ideas, who has provided some sort of good help to team members. Maybe that help maybe only for 1 hour, still fine, you can announce that person's name. This is very small things, this is very little things which also provided a good boost up to your team members. Next time they start with their full energy in your team and done their work before time always. So this is a practical, and here we end our session. Yeah, sorry Uwe, you are saying something. Question in the chat window, okay. uh Team game. Oh, there are lot many team games available. Uwe, I'm giving a very simple game which I recently provided somebody, yeah, maybe in Slovakia or somewhere. It's a game of tell a story and uh, paint a bird or paint a drawing. I'm giving you again a very in short what exactly this game is. So I have to provide why Scrum Master is required in team, why product owner is required in team, how to boost the team, for estimations, how to make team to work in team manner. So I have a 25 team members right now, and I'm divided these 25 team members in three different teams. In every team, maybe 7 to 8 team members are there. First team, which I announce with project manager. This is a traditional environment where I'm running a traditional environment. Second team with scrum master and product owner, and third team doesn't have manager, doesn't have any owner or master. Now, game is very simple, guys. There are few props, like we had provided them a drawing sheet with some sort of crayons and colors, and I have provided them instructions that they have to choose any animal, any bird or single animal. They have to draw it, they have to paint it, and they have to make a story on that particular animal. Now, these instructions given to all three teams, but this may be considered as a requirement from client side. Now, what project manager will do? Project manager will pass the same information to team members. Project manager identifies who will draw the picture, who will paint the picture, and who will create the story. This is the first team. Second team, product owner and scrum master. Because we are working in agile manner and we always encourage the out of box ideas. So here product owner provided the information to team members and says, you guys choose who is a good painter, who is a good drawing person, can draw a very good objects or draw a very good bird or animal. That person can draw a bird. You can choose any bird, like maybe sparrow or parrot or anything. In drawing, maybe we will color it differently. Maybe if we draw a parrot, then maybe we will make it magenta color, or maybe blue color, or maybe black color. And why we are doing this? So we are telling these things in our stories. We will make a funny story. We will add something funny. Like if my parrot is magenta, then maybe in my story I'll provide the message that when the parrot join T-System or Deutsche Telekom, it changes its color and it become magenta right now. Or maybe if I painted it black, then maybe I'll relate it with current situation, like due to COVID situation. In today's days, every animal or every bird feels like they burnt out completely, because there is no food, no shelter, no water for them. So likewise they can make a stories. Now third team, who doesn't have manager, master or owner, those team got the requirement, but those team doesn't know which animal or uh, 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 which bird they have to print out, and what color they have to provide it, and what is story. So is it related to animal or bird, or it is related to something else? So they just make a story, they just paint a bird, and they provided these things. After completing this event, ask everybody to showcase their painted picture and tell us the story. Everybody will tell us their stories, but the team who is working in agile manner will provide a very funny story with funny drawing, and rest of the team members can got a chance to make a smile. Now ask them, are they feel happy? Are they feel really enjoyment in their work, and why these things are happen? Who helped them majorly to enjoy their work? Whose idea is this to draw like this, or to paint like this, or to add these things in their stories, and why these things added in their story? These are the questions, guys, which answers will provide you the motive why we are using agile, why we have to work in team manners, why we required product owner, why we required scrum master, and why we are enjoying our work. So this is an example, guys, which I'm giving you here. And likewise, I have more than 500 games. So you just provide me the situation and I will provide you the game, or I maybe provide you the idea of game. So Uwe, I'm think I satisfies your question. Ah, so thank you. Any more queries? Any more question, guys? Anything? Guys, there are lot many things happens in agile journey. Say for example, team members are not able to do a proper estimations in sprint planning. Maybe in refinement session, team goes out of track, or maybe product owner goes out of track, or maybe product owner doesn't have the complete information. These are some points, or these are some opportunities where you can fit a single game, and you can see if I am giving a training like classroom training on a whiteboard. If I am writing something with my pen or chalk and I'm giving you training, might be you will learn few things. I'm giving my 100%, you are taking 10%, and after the class, maybe after 2 3 hours, the 10% is also wipe out, so it goes on zero. But if you provided something practically, then you did not require to provide the 100%. Practically, if you just provide 50%, rest of the 50% team members will achieve by their experience. And when you ask them after the practical event or after the game event what they learn or what they feel, or why team working in this fashion or in this manner while they are playing the games, what they achieve from the game, at that time whatever the answers team will provide you, maybe you are not able to provide that information in your language. And this is the reason games is a very good trick with team members, because they learn it practically. And if you are learning something practically, it will be in your conscious mind forever. Giving a simple example, uh, before almost 25 to 30 years, I was learning a bicycle. I fall lot many times while learning a bicycle, but I learn the things. If somebody in a classroom if provided me that education, that you have to start your bicycle like this, you have to sit like this, you have to pedaling like this, you have to apply the brake when such situation arises, maybe I learn those things, and after the class maybe everything is wiped out. But when practically I'm learning these things, when practically I'm doing some sort of accidents also, guys, I skid lot many times, I injured lot many times, but I learned the bicycle finally. And till date I learn whatever I learn at that time, till day it's in my cautious mind. When right now I'm driving through my bike, through my bicycle, or through my car, at that time I'm remembering those things, and I'm applying those things indirectly in my driving skills. So these are the things which we have to provide them. And this is the reason, guys, if you are applying something practically, it's really good. It may be team members will also enjoy, you will also enjoy, and maybe next time you do not require to repeat those things in front of team. Again, I am asking my question, guys, in a different language. Do you really understand about today's topics? Product review and demo. What is demo? What is product review? Why we have to do it? So do you really understand these things, guys? Okay. Now my second question is, yeah, yeah. No, I'm sharing the same slide which I am talking about. Uh, so what exactly the issue? I don't understand. Because Yeah, because session is already done and now I am waiting for questions, queries. No, 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 no. Guys, one thing, uh, on the event where you registered to join this session, I'm uploading the video of today's session on that particular event also and on YamTube also. So if you feel something is missing, you can revisit the video and you can recollect that particular information. Now, my question is to the entire all team members or all participants, which area or which part in today's session you feel is very hard or confusing? Sometimes silence is really very bad, guys. Okay, Ellie, I am giving you one more idea. Just forget about Agile. Forget about Agile coach, Scrum Master, and Product Owner. But if you like this idea, apply it practically in your teams. In whichever situation you are working, in whichever environment or in whichever fashion you are working on traditional environment, you are working on agile environment, or you are working on any other environment. But if you like the ideas, just try to apply it, make some changes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So you want to ask from retrospective, how will you get the result if your team is not communicating or if your team is not supporting to that particular environment or that particular event? So answer is very simple. If you are running your meetings in old fashion, maybe your team is bored already and that's why your team is not responding. But if you try to apply such ideas where your team is started enjoying that particular event or that particular meeting rather than boring, so they will gives you more and more input which will provide you as the output. Giving a very simple example, one of my team's example, this is um, one of my team members are very shy. Almost six people are there, and they are very shy. Hardly two to three people, two peoples are just communicated in each and every meeting. And I monitor these things, I analyze these things in my two events. Third event, when I entered in meeting room, at that time first I give the instructions that those two team member who are always energetic, I ask them, today I do not want to listen you both guys. You just keep quiet and you just see me. Or if you want to talk, you just provide your opinion based on other team members' response. And then I am started throwing random question to rest of the team members, like what is going on in their life, maybe in personal life, maybe in professional life, what exactly going on in production environment, what exactly going on in their technical environment, where exactly they are facing issues, why this issue is, are we not previously identified this situation, if we identified, then why we haven't applied any solution, is the solution delayed, is the solution person delayed, is the communication delayed, what exactly the problem. Guys, retrospective is dependent on only three questions. First, what goes well. Second, what not goes well. Third, do we have any improvement or do we need any improvement? These three questions. Now, when I am randomly throwing these questions are related to these three pillars, and these team members started talking me, these team members given me the answers of these questions. Now when these team members giving me the answer, those two team members whom I told that I do not want to listen them today, but they can provide the opinion, so they started providing their opinion. Yeah, solution was there but it's late and it's delayed, that's why we haven't applied it, or due to so and so situation we are not able to apply it because maybe communication delayed or technical issues, or maybe dependencies, or maybe unidentified risk, or maybe identified risk but the risk itself stretch the time, so that's why we are not able to apply the solution, so on. It's fair enough and it's a justifiable answer from their side, and we have a points, action points, that these things happen in my last sprint, these things should not be repeat in my next sprint or upcoming any sprint. So I am conducting those action points, as well as I am conducting those points also, what goes well, what goes not well. I am writing it in my notebook, and after the entire meeting, after the meeting is over, I fill up that entire data in my tools and share it with my team members. So by this way, guys, if you started, you will achieve the motive of your meetings, your ceremonies. Ask them a simple question, why they are happy today, because sprint is over. Okay, fine, sprint is over, then what is the happiness in that? Next sprint will start, so what makes them happy? They will provide you the answer. Those things you can consider as what goes well. Now ask them, in next sprint, what you which things you do not want or you are not expecting, which things are happen in our last sprint. Maybe question is a different language. I am not directly asking them what not goes well in my last sprint. I am just turn the question in different language and I am throwing that question randomly, so team members started giving me the answers, and those may be the points which I am considering as in not goes well. Now I will ask them why it is really happens. Are we make any mistake or are we miss something? Now whatever answer they provide you, consider those as an action point, and by this way you can get the output. Very simple. Any more question, guys? Any more queries? Eli, I hope I satisfies your question. Yeah. Guys, anybody have any question, any query? Nope. Okay, then I'll stop this session today, guys. We will meet tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, have a nice evening, and stay safe, guys. Thank you.